All right, welcome to The Explainer. This past week in AI, it was something else. The biggest names in the game didn't just drop new products. No, they made these huge strategic moves in what's honestly starting to look like a global arms race for digital intelligence. So let's break down what just happened, because it's a lot.
And that right there, that's really the core theme of everything we're about to talk about. The brand new Stanford AI Index report just came out, and it basically says we've hit this critical moment. AI isn't just some tool for researchers in a lab anymore. Its influence is absolutely exploding across our economy, our society, even global politics. And this isn't some far-off theoretical thing. It is happening right now.
And look, if you want to wrap your head around the sheer scale of this transformation, just look at this number, $4 trillion. That is the insane valuation that NVIDIA just hit. I mean, to put that into perspective for you, they are the first company ever to reach that milestone. And why? Well, because they build the AI chips. They build the literal engines of this revolution. And that kind of money, that doesn't just fund a little bit of research, it fuels the entire global race.
Okay, so let's talk about that competition. This isn't just about building, a slightly better product. No, this is a fundamental race, a race to create the most powerful, the most capable intelligence on the entire planet.
So first up, the one we were all waiting for, right? OpenAI finally announced GPT-5. And the key phrase you need to know is adaptive reasoning. So what does that even mean? Well, it suggests an AI that doesn't just follow a set of instructions. It can actually change its problem-solving approach on the fly for these incredibly complex tasks. This is a huge leap forward. But they weren't alone for long.
Yeah, because just 2 days earlier, Google DeepMind fired back with Genie 3. And what this thing can do is, it's wild. Genie 3 can generate interactive 3D worlds just from a text prompt. And these worlds, they stay consistent for, and I'm quoting their release here, multiple minutes. Now, I know that might not sound super long, but trust me, in the world of AI generation, that is a massive, massive technical hurdle. The pace of this back and forth, it's just staggering.
And look, this whole race, it isn't just a Silicon Valley story anymore. Not by a long shot. The gap between Western models and Chinese models is closing, and it's closing fast. I mean, just this week, Tencent's Hunyuan model set brand new vision benchmarks, and Zipu AI released GLM 4.5, which is another incredibly powerful open-source model. This competition, it's officially global now.
But here's the thing. This race to build powerful code, it's not just happening in research labs behind closed doors. It's already embedding itself deep into our culture. It's changing how we work, how we play, and maybe most importantly, how we relate to each other.
So what does that actually look like in practice? Well, let's take the app Character AI, the one where users can talk to different AI personas. The average user spends this much time on the app every single day, 80 minutes. No, that's not a typo, 80 minutes a day. And just to put that number in perspective for you, take a look at this. At 80 minutes of daily engagement, Character AI is already right up there competing with giants like YouTube and TikTok, and it's completely blowing past Instagram. This is a huge deal. We're not just using AI anymore, we are starting to spend a significant portion of our actual lives with it.
And it's not just happening in these new, flashy apps either. It's also quietly, integrating itself into the tools you probably use every single day. For instance, Microsoft just rolled out a new Copilot function in Excel. So now, you can just describe what you want to do in plain English, and the AI literally writes the formula for you. Think about that. That is a massive shift in how we interact with our software.
Okay, but this rapid integration, it definitely comes at a cost. With every single leap forward in capability and personal connection, we're starting to see the shadow side of this technology. We're talking about the unintended and sometimes the really harmful consequences. And this leads us to maybe the most crucial question of all. I mean, think about it. These AI models are being explicitly designed to mimic us, to sound more and more human. But what happens when that line starts to get a little too blurry? We're already seeing this deliberate push. It's happening right now. Right after launching GPT-5, OpenAI pushed an update to make it sound less formal, more personal. Using phrases like, "good question." And why? Well, because users were saying the original model felt too cold. The goal here is pretty clear. Make the AI more relatable, more human. But there's a huge problem with that. New reporting from the Decoder suggests there's a direct link between this whole humanizing trend and some really negative outcomes. It turns out that models designed to sound warmer and more empathetic, well, they're actually more likely to confidently state false information. That friendly, relatable tone can be really, really misleading.
And honestly, that's just the start. We're seeing this growing list of documented harms. We're talking about AI personas creating serious emotional dependencies, especially in young people. We're seeing a flood of AI-generated fake books on Amazon, and now we're even seeing major lawsuits. The Texas Attorney General is actually accusing both Meta and Character.ai of misleading kids with false mental health claims.
So, okay, we have these incredibly powerful closed-off models that are starting to cause some pretty serious real-world problems. This has led a whole different part of the tech community to champion another path forward, one that's built on transparency and collaboration.
And that path is called open source AI. So what is it? Put simply, it's when a model's code, and sometimes even its training data, is released to the public for free. Anyone can see how it works, they can use it, they can build on top of it. It is a fundamentally different philosophy from the super secretive labs at the top.
And believe me, this movement is gaining some serious momentum. Even OpenAI, a company famous for its closed models, just released an open-source family of models called GPT-OSS. Meta just dropped Dino v3 with a license for commercial use, which is huge. And all of this stuff is being coordinated on platforms like Hugging Face, which has basically become the central hub for the entire open-source AI community.
Which really brings us to our final question, because we are, without a doubt, at a crossroads. As this technology gets more powerful and more personal, who should get to decide its future? Who sets the rules? Is it the handful of giant corporations in this race for profit and power? Is it the decentralized and, let's be honest, sometimes chaotic open source community? Or is there a role for you, for all of us, to play in this? That is the question we're all going to have to answer, and probably a lot sooner than we think.